Look at this, 1 Corinthians chapter 12. It says, verse 4. Now there are distinctive varieties and distributions of endowments. Endowments were, like this is talking about the spiritual gifts. And it says in my Bible with endowments, it breaks it down like this. It says gifts, extraordinary powers. Here are some ordinary people doing some extraordinary stuff. And look, and, you know, one of the things that I ask myself is like, okay, if there are these certain people doing these extraordinary things, why are they doing extraordinary things? I mean, if God's not a respecter of people, why is there certain people that are seeing these extraordinary things? I mean, why isn't everybody seeing these extraordinary things? And the next part of the verse kind of actually answers, and it says, distinguishing certain Christians due to the power of divine grace operating in their souls by the Holy Spirit. Did you get it? God's not a respecter of people, but he's distinguishing certain Christians due to the power of divine grace that is operating within their souls. Ordinary men like you and I were experiencing extraordinary things, healings, prophetic words, words of knowledge that were being released in the streets, with the creativity of God showing up in the marketplace, where people were knowing that God was real because they had the supernatural divine grace. Now, what is grace like? Grace isn't just the unmerited forgiveness of God. It's the unmerited favor. Because you were forgiven, you have a new identity, and now you have favor. That means that God's concerned about what's happening now and your future. He's not just concerned about where you've been. Many of us are still looking back in the church about where we've been rather than looking about what God is doing right now, because we're still not operating out of this thing of the supernatural divine grace of God in our lives. The word divine actually is the buzzword that we now use for the supernatural, but this extraordinary stuff was happening wherever these men would go.